My friends, my pleasure.
Hey everyone, what is going on? My name's Live, and in today's video I've got a very big discussion to have with you guys regarding the difference between Payday 2 on the console versions and on PC. Now this video is going to be a little bit different to the typical Payday 2 discussion videos I make, purely because this time I finally have perspective from both sides of the debate. Those of you who've been around for a while will know I've been a console YouTuber for Payday 2 for the last 2 years, and don't worry, that isn't going to change. But since upgrading my capture card, my recording software, etc., I've been able to actually play Payday 2 on PC properly, bar the one time I tried to load a bank heist on my old laptop and nearly turned it into an electronic puddle. So basically, I've been playing it a lot for the last on and off week since I got my software and hardware upgrades, and because of that, I have some thoughts to share on the PC version of Payday 2, and really some serious discussions to be had as to what we really actually need from PC, what the most important things are. And I have to be honest, my perspective has changed since playing the PC version. So we're going to get into it, discuss my thoughts, and basically just map out a plan for what I think the console version should get from PC. Now I have the actual experience to back up my point. So without further ado, my name is Live, welcome back to the channel, and today let's talk about some Payday 2 platform differences. So as I said when I opened the video, I've now played Payday 2 on PC for roughly a week. Not a great deal of time though, because in between I've been playing stuff on console. So for instance, the new GTA Casino update, which I live streamed yesterday. Thank you all for checking that out if you were part of that stream. But basically, on and off, usually in the evenings, I've been switching off my console, hopping onto Payday on PC and just having a go and seeing what really is different between the two. And to recap, let's just remind everyone of where the console versions are up to. So we currently have, in terms of content, up until the Alaskan Deal heist. The next heist we're due is the Diamond heist, one of the last classic heists we don't have, and then after that we have all the story heists, so where Reservoir Dogs kicked off with Bane being kidnapped and Locke taking over as the whole mentor role, and then from there going through all different heists such as Breaking Feds, Henry's Rock, the Shacklethorne Auction, and the White House, with a few others dotted in between that were also quite important. So all those heists are missing. In terms of characters, we are now only missing the H3H3 character pack for Payday 2 on Xbox One and PS4, which to a lot of people doesn't really matter. H3H3 are quite polarizing, but they're the last two characters missing. In terms of weapons, we have a few little weapons here and there, most of which were added during the later events. So there's a compound bow, a new flamethrower, some bits and bobs like that that need to be added, as well as the World War II weapon pack, and a bunch of other content. But I want to start by talking about the things that I think are the most important. So what have I been doing the most on Payday 2 on PC? The first thing I want to talk about is the Akimbo Grim shotguns, which I know isn't a big feature or a big heist, but it is very important, and I want to talk about this purely because those of you who've seen the most recent console update we got, you'll have seen that the Grimm's shotguns, the Akimbos at the very least, got a big nerf from Overkill. It was their way of trying to deal with the issue where the Grimms were basically breaking people's games. It's an issue with how many pellets are being fired against textures. Basically, if too many are fired on full auto, it crashes other people's games on console. I don't know why it happens, it just does. And Overkill were not able to find a legitimate fix for it, so instead they nerfed the fire rate into the ground to about a third of the speed, I think. And now you can use the Grimms, they don't break people's games as much, or if at all. I haven't seen it happen yet since the update, but they're literally almost impossible to use. I got them on PC, had a go with them, the fire rate is so much better, and they're pretty much the only guns alongside the Judge that I've been using in my time on PC. I adore them to bits, and that therefore means that there is a very big difference there on console. The Grimms are definitely the best weapons in the game on Payday 2 on PC, I can say that without a shadow of a doubt, and they need to be on console, so hopefully Overkill can find an actual fix if they do another update rather than just nerfing the frame rate. I really hope that that issue is a short-term solution rather than a long-term one. But what have I been using the Grimm shotguns on? Well, the main thing I've been using them on is the Crime Spree game mode. Now, those of you who saw my last video last week, which I'm actually not sure got to people's notifications, there has been some issues with that on YouTube, so a link to that video in the top right corner of the screen, please go back and watch that if you haven't already. It's very important talking about why Crime Spree is a big game mode and why consoles need it. But Crime Spree is what I've been playing a lot. It's the game mode that I've been waiting for the most on consoles. A lot of us have been waiting for it as well. We've all been hoping for this game mode to come over, and as we know, it was supposed to be in the most recent update, but sadly it didn't come over. So I thought, now's my chance, let's hop in and see if Crime Spree really is as good as the gameplay I've seen and really as good as what other people have been saying. And I hopped in and had a go. The thing I've noticed the most about Crime Spree is that it takes a lot longer to get a higher rank than I actually anticipated it does. And on top of that, game crashes, or closing your lobby for whatever reason, if there's an issue or a bug with your laptop, it can be a bit of an issue, because whenever you unexpectedly close the game, or whenever it crashes, it throws you out the crime spree, and you have to pay a fee to get back in. That can get a bit annoying. So I can imagine it being a bit temperamental on consoles, which is why it's not the worst thing it's not on consoles, to be honest. Having played Crime Spree now, it is fun, it's a good laugh, but I'm not quite sure whether it's the most important thing for consoles, really, honestly. It was quite at the forefront of my priorities at the start, but now I'm not so sure, so that's kind of a backseat I've taken. I want Crime Spree on consoles, but I don't think it's quite as important as some other stuff. Something that has moved to the forefront, though, however, is the safe house. Now, I've dabbled over the safe house for quite some time. It's been one of those things where sometimes I've been for it, sometimes I've been against it. My opinion has changed over time. If you've been around long enough, you will know this. But the safe house, I honestly, having played it, and mainly the safe house raid and the side jobs that you can get through the safe house and the trophies, etc., I actually think that the safe house is very important. And my opinion has changed back. It's gone from saying the safe house is important to the safe house not being important, and finally back in full circle to me saying it's important again. And not even for the safe house itself, because that, I know it sounds stupid, but the actual safe house itself is not really the thing that matters the most. The thing that matters the most is the things you can do because of the safe house. So every 3 days on PC, you can do a safe house raid. The cops will attack your safe house, and you have to defend it in order to use it again. You can let the crew handle it, and it'll push it back a little bit of time if you want to go in yourself without the worry of a raid. But you can do a safe house raid once every 3 days and set it to whatever difficulty you want. Go in and play it 4-player. Now, those alone are really good fun. I really do enjoy the safe house raids. They're really good for testing out weapons as well, I find. Better than going into like an actual like training shooting room. Actually using them in a raid, even if you have a lower difficulty, you know, it's quite fun. It's quite easy, and it's a good way to test builds out. But what you also get alongside things like the safe house raid are some of the features. So, for instance, you get daily jobs in the safe house. So, for instance, a heister may ask you to secure a certain type of loot. So, Jimmy may ask you to get 10 bags of coke in a single day. And if you do it, he gives you 6 continental coins. Things like that. It gives you challenges, and it's another thing to do on Payday. Now, for those of you who've been playing for a while, like myself, you're always looking for something new to keep you going. And to have daily jobs on PC, I strongly underestimated how important that was. Because going on there and having a reason to do something every day really helps you enjoy the game and keep you playing it. Because once you've played every heist a few times and done loads of difficulties and stuff, you kind of feel like there's not as much to do in the game anymore. I mean, it's all about replayability and trying things differently, and of course you can do that as much as you want, but having other objectives to motivate you and even push you further into playing the game helps a lot, and that's something that actually is really important with these daily jobs, which also ties into trophies in the safe house. Now, with the safe house, I don't know how many trophies there are. I'm going to take a wild guess and say about 50, 60 trophies. There could well be more. I haven't actually sat and counted them up. But basically, it gives you a certain list of tasks. It could be daft things from deploying a bunch of ECM jammers, to completing a heist on a certain difficulty, to killing over 600,000 police officers. That's the biggest one, called Rob the Cop. But basically, it gives you a bunch of different challenges to work towards in Heist, and in return, when you beat one, you get a trophy you can show off from the safe house. Now, of course, you get the aesthetic value of seeing the trophy in the safe house, but other than that, it's an important goal. Again, it's something else to get you back into the game and get you playing. So, the safe house as a physical entity, while it's cool to run around and visit all the stuff, that's not really where the importance is. It's in the features of the raid, and the features of the trophies, and the daily challenges that come with it. But the daily challenges are only a part of it. The daily challenges tie into side jobs as a general feature. Side jobs will give you tasks, not just for people in the safe house, but also general jobs to do every day, every week, and every month. For instance, for me on PC currently, I'm not sure whether it's for everyone, but I have this challenge of to complete a crime spree of up to 100 rank using only an amp car, Shimano 88, and no skills. Which, let me tell you, is a lot harder than it sounds. Even though crime spree only starts off on overkill, you really realise how hard things are without skills. I have to emphasise that quite clearly. But basically, that's my challenge for the month. I have to beat that for the month, and I get a team boost and a random stat boost. Not a great reward, though, overkill. Gotta say, maybe change that, possibly, please. I know I've only just started playing on PC, and I'm throwing opinions around, but yeah, not a great reward for that level of challenge. But point being, you could do challenges every day, week, month, so even if you finish your daily challenge, you can have something else to work towards as well. These side jobs, as far as I'm concerned, don't have to have the safe house. If you don't want to have the safe house or the raids or the trophies, give us side jobs. That's a very big thing, and it can get us playing every single day, coming back to see more things. I don't know how technical it will be to set up a timer on Xbox and PS4 and linking it to servers and whatever and getting it to give you new jobs every day, and also being able to recognize when you've done them. I know it's a bit more intricate, because, for example, on Xbox One and PS4, you don't do certain challenges to get masks, you just get them in DLC. Whereas on PC, a lot of masks require you to do achievements to earn them. So it's a similar mechanic. We don't have it on console, so I don't know how easy it would be. Might explain why we don't have side jobs yet, but if we could get them, they're very important. And then finally, one of the biggest other things I want to talk about is the heists. Now, I have played most of the heists. The only ones I've not played in full are Shacklethorne Auction. I played most of that. I just failed at the end with a few random people. The White House Heist, I played an inch of, but almost nothing. And Breaking Feds, the stealth-only heist set in the same building as the Hoxton Breakout Day 2. Apart from that, I've played all the other heists, and I have to tell you, it's really sad to say that my favourite heist in Payday 2 is now one that's only on PC and not console, and that's Brooklyn Bank. That is definitely better than the Big Bang. And it's not even because it's a bigger bank, because it's not. It's smaller, it's simpler, it's a simple thermal drill. You go in, you get out. But the fact that you can get in different ways, there's different entry points into the bank, even though it's loud. You can get into the vault either by using a thermal drill, or it could give you a winch to pull the door off the hinges. The fact that there's loads of gold loot inside and loads of deposit boxes where you can unlock them by hacking a computer. There's so much going on in this heist, and it's so busy and so interesting, basically. And that's why hopefully the gameplay will be me playing Brooklyn Bank. That's been my plan right through this video. Hopefully I can get my recording stuff to work. If not, then yikes. But the point being, the Brooklyn Bank is a really good heist, and that's brought me back to my point of the last DLC we got had no heists. And I've said this before, the new update, when we get one, if we get one, has to have heists in it. Now, I'm not saying it has to have every single heist. It has to catch us up to the White House in one foul swoop. That's asking a lot. What I'm asking, though, is to get about half of what we're missing. So, ideally, I'd like the Diamond Heist, which we're up to, Reservoir Dogs, Brooklyn Bank, Breaking Feds, and Henry's Rock. Those are the heists I'd love to see most in the next update. And then in the update afterwards, if you can do 2 updates, I mean, it's wishful thinking for 1, but 2, if we can get them, I would love to see then Shacklethorne Auction, Hell's Island, No Mercy, and finally the White House all come over. Split it up into 2 parts and make it easier for yourselves if you need to. And in the meantime, throw in Safe House, Crime Spree, whatever you can do. That'd be really nice. What I don't think the actual console versions need is safes and skins. I've now played them, I've used them. On PC, you only get 1 safe a week. If you want to get more than that, you have to go on the marketplace and buy safes or skins. I'm not going to do that. That's not something I'm interested in the slightest. And the skin that I have is a dodgy, like, rare-ish skin for the Eagle Heavy Rifle, which is just a bit of a black and white painting on it, which looks cool, but it's not exactly made my life much better. So safes and skins is one of the things where my opinion hasn't changed. We don't need them. They're a nice little feature, they look good, but as far as I'm concerned, if that's the only thing we end up missing in the long run, who cares? Not me, and not a lot of other people. If you're someone who's rooting for safes and skins, sorry, you're not missing out on much, trust me, you really aren't. But to round off the video in some kind of coherent way so that everything kind of makes sense, my point that I'm trying to make is that Payday 2 on PC has a lot more to it when you actually sit down and play it, and I know that this is going to come across to some people who are watching this as though I'm being pretentious or having some kind of big opinion now just because I could afford a PC that could run the game. I can't avoid that, basically. I know people are going to hate me for, like, actually talking about PC and, oh, it's so cool that PC has this but console doesn't. The people who know me know that I'm not saying it in a pretentious way or trying to be nasty. My point is that PC has some great stuff, and console heisters deserve it too. Even Overkill can agree on that front. It's just a matter of porting the content over, which is very difficult for them to accomplish. So what I've hoped to do in this video now is, because not only am I one of the only console YouTubers, if possibly the only one, who does, like, a lot of console news the way I do, I'm now also someone who can do console news and stick to console news, because don't worry, that ain't going to change. But I can also integrate some PC content in, and I can get a really good level head and say, here's what it feels like on PC. Let me tell you exactly what it's like rather than showing you gameplay, and then tell you whether it really is that important. And this is why this video is going to hopefully mark possibly a brand new bridge for the channel, where as well as doing console stuff, I talk about some PC things, if things get added, and then try and add a console tinge to it. That was the whole point of this video, to talk about, well, I've upgraded now, I'm not going to ignore the fact that I can play Payday on PC, but I'm not going to ignore the fact that I can play it on console either. It's going to be a mix of the two, and that's the way I plan to keep it going forward. So that was my kind of point, and there's a lot of things that, as I've said, Overkill need to look at. So really fixing the grims on consoles, adding the new heists, adding side jobs, those are the top priorities really. The weapons that we're missing, I don't really think matter too much. The World War II weapon pack is something I meant to mention earlier, but basically, the only thing I can sum up from that is the M1 Garand is a glorious weapon, the MP40 is a reskin SMG that doesn't matter much, and the Parabellum pistol is mediocre at best. The real gun you want out of that is the M1 Garand. It's a really nice gun, but I'm pretty sure it's quite similar to the M308, so it doesn't matter greatly. I get that people want it over, it is a good gun, but, you know, debate it, you know, think about priorities and what we really need on the console versions more. So, I would say, daily jobs, keep people playing, Crime Spree, important, maybe not as important as I thought it might have been, and then finally, getting the heists over. Let people experience what has defined Payday on PC for this last year, the story-driven heists that genuinely have been really entertaining to play. What I've played, Reservoir Dogs is a phenomenal heist, Brooklyn Bank is brilliant, the Diamond Heist from the classics is quite fun as well, I do quite enjoy that. Henry's Rock, somewhere in between, not my favourite heist, but still fun to play. and generally it's just been a really good time to play some of these heists, and I just can't wait for us to get them on console, which hopefully will happen in the near future. But either way, that's going to round off this video and me talking about my upgrade from console to PC. Let me reiterate once again by saying that, and I'm probably going to have to put this again at the start of the video, I didn't think of doing it back then, but I probably will slide it in between now, and you'll have heard me say it if I have. But let me emphasize, console content ain't going anywhere. If there is console news, as always, you know I'll be here to report it. Console news, console theories, console discussions, they ain't changing. But if I can integrate a bit of PC whenever they update the game, for instance, anything like that, I'll throw it in as well. Sometimes when I live stream, I'll stream Payday 2 on PC as well. You know, I'll mix things up and keep things interesting so that we have two different platforms. Because then not only will I be the only person to play on console who actually does like regular videos and is actually... I don't want to say somewhat well known because that sounds egotistical, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. But I can also be the only person who's actually trying to integrate PC with that. So it's something fresh to keep you guys interested and keep the channel growing and evolving. That's the key thing for me. I want this channel to constantly have something new. This is the next big thing, and I'm really excited to combine the content and see what you guys have to say about it. But until then, that'll round off the video. So if you have enjoyed, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. It's always very much appreciated. And if you are new around here, please consider subscribing because it is quick, it is free, and I will always love you for doing so. And you know the drill by now. If you haven't supported me on Patreon and you feel like you may want to do that, there are some bonuses over there. Nothing too special. It's mainly just if you want to support me. But there is a link in the description and on the top right corner of the screen now. Donations are never expected, but are always appreciated. And I can't thank anyone enough who does choose to do that. Very soon we'll have channel membership set up on the channel, which means you'll be able to donate strictly through YouTube and be a member on the channel officially. You'll get a special badge and all sorts of stuff like that. I'm ironing out perks to try and make it worthwhile, so hopefully I'll have those up soon. But other than that, thank you all for watching. I will see you all very soon with a brand new video. Until then, take it easy guys, look after yourselves, and I will see you all very soon.